My friend canceled her engagement and married a stranger instead.
That friend sounds fun.
This happened many years ago, but I definitely need to tell the story. I, at the time, female 23, had a group of college friends, and one of them, let's call her Sarah, 23 female, was that girl who has been with her boyfriend since high school. We were a close group of friends, and the boyfriend, let's call him John, male 26, was always there. We were all at the same school, but he was ahead of us by 2 years. There were more girls in our group, a total of 7, and we were inseparable, studying, traveling, and partying together. Sarah and John were always there. Fast forward, after graduating from college, I moved to another city, but my friends stay close to each other. There were no smartphones, so communication was not very efficient. 6 months after graduation, we got together for a Christmas lunch, and Sarah told us that she had a new job, got engaged, and they were looking to buy a house. And by the way, this comes from user CertainPerformance56, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Keon.
I'm Dakota.
And we are Goofy Goobers. We don't know everything, guys. We only know what we do, so let us know what you do in the comments. Pretty please. She said, and by she, Sarah said, John was very excited about it, and we needed to get ready for their wedding in March. And of course, we were all going to be bridesmaids! We were all so happy as they were going to be the first one of our friend group to get married. By February, I have not received an invitation or any kind of details about the wedding, or bridesmaid dresses, or anything. So, I called one of my friends, and she just said that the bride has been a little messy with the organization. She told me the bridesmaid dresses were going to be blue, but the bride changed her mind every week, so she was not sure. Also, there were no invitations because that was a big expense, and the bride decided just to email the address to the bridesmaid. 3 weeks before the wedding, the maid of honor sends me a message that I should buy a lilac dress. They send me photos of what they expected me to buy, and that there was not going to be a bachelorette party as they didn't want to spend money on it. I got the address and time for the church and the party. I found it super weird, and I felt sad that this was my first wedding as a bridesmaid, and it turned out to be a very boring experience. But I just thought the couple was paying for a house and all the wedding expenses, so it made some sense that they wanted to keep it just low-key. So, the wedding day comes. I got ready. I was there 30 minutes before the service. There were also no pre-wedding photos or anything. I was just so ready and cute on my lilac dress, ready to be there for the happy couple. Do we think this is gonna go well?
I think someone's just not gonna show up. I think bride is just gonna run off to Nova Scotia or wherever.
When I get there, the maid of honor pulled me away from everyone and told me that we need to be the best friends for the bride as we can be and help her because the groom does not know anyone from her family or friends. I was confused and asked, why? John would be lost if he has been close to us and Sarah's family for years. He knows who we are. Then she told me the groom's name was not John, but Michael, male 23. Plus, all the bridesmaids were dressed in a different color and they did not want me to buy another dress and that it was why they did not tell me. I felt sad for a long time as I felt betrayed. And I was in shock. Turned out no one dared to explain on the phone, and most of us learned about the change of the groom in that moment. Only Sarah's parents, siblings, and the maid of honor knew about it.
That is categorically insane.
This is insane. I introduced myself to Michael just 10 minutes before the wedding. He was completely opposite to John in every way. I had no idea who he was or why she was marrying my friend, who less than 3 months ago told me she was marrying John. All Michael's family was there, super happy. And all of Sarah's family and friends were there, were very serious, and they were silent. I wonder why.
You elope with your secret weird husband no one knows about. You elope!
Some of Sarah's family brought gifts with John's name, and the old aunts kept calling Michael as John. The party was so divided as we have no idea who these people were. Michael's family was in one side of the room, and we were on the other side, not mixing at all. During the party, there were very awkward speeches by Michael and how much he loved Sarah and vice versa. None of Sarah's family gave a speech. You could tell on her parents' face that they were not happy at all with what was happening, and her mom just kept explaining to the family all night about the confusion. We, as Sarah's best friends, kept trying to keep the party going, but we felt weird the entire time, and I couldn't wait for it to be over. Once the drinks started circulating, the maid of honor finally told us the story. Sarah met Michael on her new office job since last August. They were already together when John proposed and started paying for the house that they were supposed to buy. Sarah canceled the engagement in the end of January when she found out she was pregnant with Michael's baby. She did not tell anyone for another month, but canceled the printing of the invitations and everything that had John's name on it. Sarah's parents found out about Michael a month before the wedding, and that she was pregnant a week before the wedding. And that
Oh.
is why there was no bachelorette party, as she was feeling sick and tired all the time. Sarah did not tell anyone, and she kept the dress, the party venue, and everything as nothing was going to change when she was about to marry John. So Sarah made all the colors and the changed details to accommodate her mother-in-law and sister-in-law, who had no idea she was previously engaged, but knew she was pregnant, so it needed to be a fast wedding before it shows. The families were told that the printer made a big mistake with the invitations, and that is why they were not going to get a new one. After the wedding, we moved on like nothing crazy happened, and life went on. Michael and Sarah are still married and have 5 kids, and they absolutely love each other. We still see each other once every few years. I do not have a close relationship with Sarah anymore, and I basically have spoken with Michael just a couple of times in all these years about nothing, just about Sarah and the kids. And by the way, you can hear me talk, you can hear Dakota talk, you can hear all of us talk with more episodes just like this one by going to your favorite podcast app such as Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Apple Podcasts and searching up OK Storytime. Good for you, Sarah, I guess. Congrats on cheating on John. I would be like, hey, you're a terrible human being, not your friend anymore. Bye.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Michael is your one and only, right? But like, just the fact that you didn't tell anyone that half of your marriage was changing, I don't know. That's just like,
And you needed to cover face. That's insane. You're insane. I'm sorry.
you gotta
are
at least
insane.
own it, dude. If you don't own it, I can't. This is crazy. What you did to all of us is crazy. What you did to John is crazy.
Oh, well, speaking of that, let's go ahead and read a little bit left in this story. The last I heard, John got very sick with depression and ended up in a mental institution. I also learned many years later that John was not as nice to Sarah as we all thought, and even when he never showed any signs of being harmful, we never knew what happened behind closed doors. Sarah was thinking of leaving him for a while, but I guess after being with him for so many years, she felt marrying him was an obligation. At the end, we all think Sarah made the best decision, and it is clear she's very, very, very happy with her life. But the way she handled the change was beyond crazy, and I still remember it as the weirdest wedding I have ever attended.
And that's because it was. That's really weird.
You know, they call them like the pew pew wedding, right? You know, the
Yeah.
wedding.
Baby
This was a
wedding.
bazooka wedding.
This was an A10 warthog wedding.
Lesson out there is maybe ask questions. It's okay to ask questions sometimes. Like, why?
Yeah, lesson learned. Tell people when you make big changes like this. To just be like, yeah, no, don't worry. Everything's the same, except I'm marrying someone you've never met. But other than that, everything is the same.
Pure insanity.
My friend invited me to his wedding, but to play as a fake boyfriend.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Those were not the terms of the agreement.
I'm 29, male, and have a long-term girlfriend of 3 years. Hannah. My friend Kyle is getting married later this year. I agreed to be a groomsman. So it's me, him, and 3 other dudes. I was disappointed when I found out I wouldn't have a +1 for the wedding, but at the time I thought the same went for the other guys. And this comes from current photo 2857. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Savannah.
And we're here to give good advice goofly, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. Come to find out last weekend that the 3 other groomsmen do have +1s. 2 of them have been in relationships for less time combined than me. The other guy is single and was complaining about not finding a date to bring on Tinder, which is how I found out. I asked Kyle, what's going on? Why do they have +1s, but I can't bring Hannah? I find out this. So I'm walking down the aisle with the bride's sister, Lisa. Lisa is developmentally disabled. She's in her 20s, but mentally she's about 10 years old. Kyle says it's because they don't want to upset Lisa. Her parents figure she will never marry or have a boyfriend, so they want me to come solo to give Lisa the impression that I'm single. Why not do that with the actual single guy that can't find a date?
Yeah, what? That's really whack.
Overall, very weird, but of the people that we could have chose from, why not the actual single one?
Yeah.
Basically, they want me to be a pretend boyfriend for Lisa. If I come with Hannah, that will make her jealous. I'm really not comfortable with this. Lisa's a nice girl, but I don't like that I'm tricking her into thinking I'm someone that I'm not. It's filthy to make someone believe I'm her boyfriend when I'm not. Plus, what if Lisa meets Hannah in the future and finds out we're together? She's already gotten in trouble in her adult care group for fighting with another girl over a guy. I told Kyle and his fiance, Claire, that I'm not okay with this. They told me I need to suck it up for a day because this will mean a lot to Lisa. I'm not comfortable playing pretend boyfriend, especially for someone who thinks we are the real deal. I want to drop out at this point. Wedding is 2 weeks away. Would I be the a-hole? And we've got an edit, but no!
Not at all. Not
These
at
people are
all.
weird. They're doing a disservice to Lisa.
Yeah, that's like, honestly, I mean, like, kind of like mistreatment.
You guys are right. This is really effed up. I called Kyle just now and told him we need to talk face to face. I'll update if anything happens. Edit 2, I'm about to confront Kyle. Pray for me. Edit 3, I'm gonna need some time to calm down. My friendship with Kyle is over. Whoa!
Whoa, that escalated very quickly.
And whoever said that I got roped in because Lisa had a crush on me, you win. I'll fill you in when I've had a moment. I feel sick right now. Edit 4. I think I can say what happened earlier this evening. The more I read everyone's answers, the more I realize this was really effed up. I already had a feeling that this whole Lisa situation was messed up, but reading everyone's comments reinforced it. I told Kyle that we had to talk, and he agreed. We met at his house. Claire was there, Lisa wasn't, thank God. Basically, I told him I was dropping out of the wedding. I told him that setting me up as Lisa's fake boyfriend was beyond messed up. What did they think was going to happen after the wedding? Was I supposed to continue this charade or dump her, break her heart, and be the bad guy? Claire tried to explain what was happening. Something about how Lisa was upset and angry that she wasn't the one getting married. That wasn't the part that pissed me off. No. Yo, want to know why I got offered up? It's because Lisa loves K-pop and is obsessed with Asian guys. I'm Japanese American, so that's why I got roped into being her fake date. And not my single friend who has to rely on Tinder to find someone. It's all some sick attempt at making Lisa feel better by hooking her up with the only Asian guy they knew. I knew it! I knew you were the only Asian guy. Because 1, you were the only option, apparently. And 2, they didn't seem to realize, they don't have enough Asian friends to realize this is an insane thing to say to anyone. At that point, I had enough. I told Kyle and Claire that it was over. I wasn't going to the wedding. I never wanted to speak or see them again. There was a lot of screaming and crying. Claire asked me why I would do this to her sister. I barely even know Lisa, except for the few times that were wedding related. And that's where things stand. I don't know if they're going to try and paint me as the bad guy who broke Lisa's heart. I already told the guys that I'm not coming and why. Who knows what the fallout from that will be. I spent the rest of the night trying to get a grip on myself. I still feel kind of queasy from this whole thing. This feels like one sick joke. I feel bad for Lisa because while I got out, she's still stuck with that crappy family. I think I'm gonna spend Saturday trying to put this behind me with adult soda and a Brooklyn Nine-Nine marathon. That sounds like a good plan. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Thank you guys for your help. At least I know there are people out there who also think this is a terrible effing idea. Oh, I also asked why not hook Lisa up with Tucker, the single friend using Tinder for dates. It's because she said he was too ugly and hated his beard. I'm not going to tell Tucker that. He's going to find out eventually. There is an update. We've still got quite a big chunk left of this story. Who was right in the comments? Did anyone guess that they wouldn't be friends anymore? Because you were right. I think that was the right move, though. What do you think?
I agree. I think that was going to be messy. If you actually went to that wedding and were in it,
Yeah.
it would have been real messy from the start. I feel like they were trying to pawn you off as like her babysitter as well, which is just so wrong to do.
Yeah, like you were supposed to be monitoring her and making her feel better so she doesn't make a big stink at the wedding about not getting married.
That is just not your issue to deal with.
No.
Like, they're trying to pawn their mentally disabled sister or family member off onto someone else for the night.
Yeah.
And that's not cool.
But we've got an update. Some people were asking me about an update. Sorry about the delay. It took me a few days to get in touch with Kyle's brother Steve, who actually did attend the wedding. I didn't go for obvious reasons. Neither did Tucker out of solidarity. Kyle and Claire's wedding took place over Memorial Day weekend. They wanted to save money for a down payment, so they decided to do a backyard ceremony with a barbecue potluck reception. The wedding was at Kyle's parents' house, which I've been to. It's a huge place, and there were about 40 or so guests. Kyle said that most of the money went to a photographer and food. Before the ceremony, Steve had heard there was some trouble with the bride. They couldn't find the dress and a necklace she wanted to wear. Then Lisa spilled juice all over her own dress. Her mom had to go find a replacement. She couldn't, so Lisa had to wear a jacket over the stain. I think Lisa had a hand in hiding the dress, but I guess we'll never know for sure. The ceremony was delayed by 30 minutes because of how long it took Claire to get ready. When they were at the altar, Lisa was giving her sister this really brutal glare, like no breaking eye contact, glowering at her sister the whole time. I feel sorry for the photographer because knowing Claire's parents, they'd want her to Photoshop the pictures later. Then there was the reception. According to Steve, Lisa had a meltdown. And during the meltdown, she went on a rampage and destroyed one of the food tables. The one with all the barbecue. No!
The barbecue.
The ribs.
First the dress, now the barbecue. Ruined. Wedding ruined.
So there is at least $700 worth of food destroyed and a couple of punches taken to the cake. Oh, the only thing left was a couple of side dishes. But the food is destroyed, the backyard is a mess, and it takes her dad and Kyle's dad and brother to try and pry her off the table. Steve thinks that one of his younger cousins got footage of it. It was the Sunday before Memorial Day, so most restaurants were either hella busy or closed. There was no way they could replace the food. Most of the guests left early. A few stuck around to help clean up the yard. Steve didn't see Lisa afterward and thinks that her mom took her home. A couple of cops came by after everyone left. Apparently one of the neighbors called about the rampage, and that's it. I haven't seen or heard from Kyle since the weekend before the wedding. No idea what he's up to, and I don't care. Yeah, they had all the karma at their own wedding, so you don't really have to worry about that at all. What he and Claire wanted to do was hella effed up. I bet they probably blame me for ruining their wedding. Like, if I hadn't pacified Lisa, this wouldn't have happened. And I hope that what happens for you is that you listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. We've got a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
You dodged a bullet, my man.
Big old bullet.
Big old Lisa-sized bullet.
Because Lisa was coming right your way. And also, so were your friends or your ex-friends.
It was chaotic from the start, and
Yeah.
it was even more chaotic as it was happening.
Oh, big time.
So I couldn't even imagine being there. I'd be like, I don't even know. What do you do? What do you do?
I would have, after the whole dress situation, I would have tried to, have someone go take her outside.
Yeah.
But we've got a little bit left. As for me, I spent the weekend with Hannah. Nice. I returned the gift I was going to give Kyle and Claire and used the money to treat ourselves to a date. Hannah wanted to see The Little Mermaid. It was okay, but that Scuttlebutt song sucked. Hannah loved it. And we went out for seafood at this place near the beach. We had money left over, and I treated Hannah to a Little Mermaid Lego set for her and a case of adult soda for me for the ongoing Brooklyn Nine-Nine marathon. To end things on an ironic note, I said that Kyle wanted me to be Lisa's date because she has a thing for Korean guys. I'm Japanese, but Lisa's love rival, my dear and gorgeous Hannah, is actually Korean. Well, there we go. How funny.
They meant to get the girl. They meant your girlfriend is invited and you're not.
They're like, oh, shoot, I guess we'll have to switch. But that is the end of that story, and we've got another one coming right up.
My friend made me a bridesmaid last minute and nothing was ready.
Come on.
Let's start off at the beginning. I was never asked to be in the wedding party. One night, I started getting harassed for my dress sizes, and I gave them, not thinking of the implications. I guess they thought I would jump at it since my fiance is the best man. Little did I know that this stupid wedding would be the bane of my existence this year. By the way, this comes from Mewy Butsky. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Savannah.
I'm Sophia.
And happy Memorial Day, everyone.
Happy Memorial.
We're here to give a little bit of content on this wonderful day of events. Monday to be exact. We're gonna give some advice. You guys are gonna give some advice. We're gonna read yours. You're gonna listen to ours. And it's all gonna be a good, nice holiday day.
Woohoo.
First, this is ruining an entire weekend. The couple shower and rehearsal dinner are on Saturday and the wedding is on Sunday. They decided the wedding would be 2 hours away. Okay. Is there going to be a hotel the family is using? I don't know, says the bride. Mind you, the wedding is in 2 weeks. Okay, I guess I'll get my own. There's some cute ones in the area, so I don't mind in the grand scheme of things. I ask her for an itinerary. What? Is that word too big for you? What do you mean by that? So I explain, and she doesn't even have one. But then she contradicts the wedding invites. The invites say the reception is at 6, but now she's saying it's at 4. End me, please. So I try to find some answers from the groom, but when I ask him anything, I don't get a response from him. I get one from the bride that doesn't even answer my original question. Thanks, I appreciate it. How about hair and makeup? Do I need to bring my own products? I don't know. I get again. My fiance said that she might be expecting me to do her makeup. She's tan and I resemble Casper in the middle of winter, so that's super not happening. The wedding is in 2 weeks, and I just received my dress last week, yet the bride is now hounding me if I got the dang thing hemmed. You got it done, correct? I don't even have the shoes. My fiance says that they're sandals. How he got this information, I'll never know. I asked my fiance to see if the groom knows anything, since they're clearly talking about this, but the groom refuses to answer any questions that seem like they're for me. In his eyes, if it's about the girls, then the bride should answer. I considered him more of a friend than the bride, but clearly I need to reevaluate this. I guess I'm at a loss for this nightmare of a wedding. I'm grateful that I didn't have to pay for the dress or shoes, but the anxiety isn't worth it. They're trying to be upscale with zero of the planning put in. Alternatively, is this normal for 2 weeks out from a wedding? And am I overreacting? There's an update.
This is incredibly abnormal.
Yeah. No, I've been to many weddings, and these people got it down to a science.
Yes, you know in advance. I've never been in a wedding party, but I have been to a lot of weddings. And everyone knows in advance what you're wearing, where you're going to be staying, all of that.
Yeah. Saturday started out ominous with various storm warnings, but we trekked out early to the shower location. Prior to the shower, my fiance and I got lunch, important later, and waited for everyone to arrive. The pavilion was lovely, and masks, hand sanitizer were provided. Not that anyone used them, though. My friend group socially distanced as we caught up, but as soon as the groom arrived to chat with us, the bride decided she had to shove her way into our conversation. During the conversation, she felt the need to make a jab at my fiance and I that we weren't married yet, and it took everything in my power to not throw her into the creek by the pavilion.
She's like, why aren't you and your fiance married? It's not like it even takes that much time. Me and my fiance, we did all the planning in 1 week.
The mother of the bride asked why we weren't at the hotel they set up, so it's great to know that we could have had a hotel with everyone. Wow. The storm warnings came true, though, as the rain came down in buckets. I still think it was a sign. Overall, there was barely any food, and the games were minimal effort. Immediately, the party was the rehearsal dinner at the venue. Bride wanted it done as soon as the shower was done, so there was no time to grab food. At this point, no one has eaten other than my fiance and I. By the end of this nonsense, I'm pretty sure that one of the groomsmen was going to drop down between his various health issues and not eating. Suffice to say, it was less of a rehearsal dinner and more of a shining example of how little the bride knew. The pastor asked if she knew what she was walking down the aisle to. She didn't know. Who would be walking? The parents/grandparents. She didn't know. And who was walking with who? Somehow I walked up with one guy and walked out with another. She, however, felt the need to make fun of the groom's mother and made her sister cry, aka one of the bridesmaids. We left with a vague notion of who was doing what, since the bride was useless and the groom didn't seem to have permission to decide anything. Later that evening, everyone else needed to eat, and my fiance felt the need to invite them to our hotel room. He thought I had gotten an extended stay room, but it was only a regular hotel room. We were hoping to get our witching about the bride out of the way, but she planted herself in the groom's car so he couldn't come unless she came too. But she didn't come to have fun. No. She came to literally cry on my hotel floor that she didn't feel well. She was constipated and refused to take anything for it. So she effectively ruined the night for everyone. Not going to lie, the dreaded day drove me to down some wine at 9:30 a.m. Maybe 3/4 of a bottle, who can really say? Either way, it made her much more tolerable at the hair appointment. Said appointment was lovely, though the bride didn't bring her wallet, so she drove there illegally and wasn't aware that the hairdresser only accepted cash. She called her mom to bring money, though the mother refused to believe that the poor stylist didn't take card or PayPal. In an effort to minimize what I owed her, I went to an ATM to pay the hairdresser plus tip. When I returned to the stylist, the bride was planning on going to Walmart to grab some foundation for the groom. The poor man had a single pimple. I decided to steal the bridesmaid with us, and we would go to Walmart. We needed ice, and it got her away from the bride. During our expedition, I found out that not only did the bride and her mother continue to make fun of the groom's mother, but that the bride was pregnant.
Oh, wow.
News wasn't shocking. After Walmart, we got to the venue and started to prepare. The bride wasn't doing any preparation pictures, so we just got ready separately. When the bride arrived, she realized that she didn't have her ring. She left it at the hotel. Cue crying loud enough to send the groomsmen from their changing room to avoid her wrath. She was extremely lucky that her aunt was still at the hotel and could get the ring. Noting that my wine buzz was wearing off, I broke into the trunk stash with the guys. Dress time! As the bridesmaids were getting ready, it was time to get the bride in her dress. She steps in and it won't zip. Her mother is trying to squeeze her in, but the bride is starting to sob again. There's no way it doesn't fit. It has to fit. They did get the top clip snap, but the zipper won't move.
I've learned that if you can get the top clip to snap, you can get the whole dress to move.
She bends over to pick up her phone. Snap. The clip goes flying and we can't find it. Honestly, I felt horrible for her in this moment. No matter how awfully she treated her in-laws and myself, no bride should have that happen. This is when it was officially revealed to us that she was 12 weeks pregnant. She tried her dress on a month prior, but she didn't think that 4 pounds would make it so she wouldn't fit. Luckily, her grandmother, I think, was able to jerry-rig the dress after someone was sent to the nearest dollar store. To distract her, the bride was shown a picture of the guys. She didn't like how the pocket squares looked, so I happily ran off to fix the situation. The actual ceremony was quick, though the groom forgot his vows. Sad to say, but his sister and I exchanged hopeful glances that he was going to call it off.
He's like, and everyone's like, ooh, is it about to get spicy?
By the way, you can go on through full episodes with stories just like these. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and just search up OK Storytime. Well, there is a little bit left to the story. Any final thoughts? How do you think the reception's gonna go? We've only gotten before the wedding
rehearsal dinner,
and then day of the wedding
crisis.
Wedding crisis. Do you think there's gonna be a crisis at the reception, or magically is it all gonna work out?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't even think she planned a reception. I think she forgot about it.
They're gonna be like, to the reception. She's gonna be like, what's that?
What's the reception?
What does that
my
mean?
reception's fine. I have full bars.
My reception's fine. Other than a small freak out from the maid of honor because she couldn't sit by her +1, it seemed like the reception was going to go well. Mask, hand sanitizer were provided and were required to be worn. Well, my fiance gave his speech. The maid of honor gave hers. But then the newlyweds decided to make an announcement. No. They decided to tell everyone that they were expecting.
Oh.
Not at your wedding. And you could see immediately that the groom's mother didn't know. If looks could unalive, the venue would have burned down from the anger and hurt radiating from her. It's important to note here that the newlyweds lived next door to her. There's no excuse for what they did to her. She refused to stay and quietly left out before the mother-son dance.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. And that's also where that stops. It ends right there.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
She's gone.
There's nothing.
Yeah, so reception did not go well.
Oh, yeah.